But here's the thing that nobody in the military talks about openly. It's a lot of prison infrastructure in one city, and for some folks, there's just a psychological element to that. You're making a major financial decision, often from thousands of miles away, on a tight timeline in a city you have never been to. That's a lot. If you just got PCS orders to Fort Leavenworth and the first thing you did was start searching homes in Leavenworth, Kansas, stop. I'm about to save you a ton of time, money, and regret. My name is Joe Nelson. I'm a realtor right here in Kansas City, and more importantly, I'm a 21-year Air Force veteran, and I've helped a lot of military families navigate this exact decision. Where do you actually want to live when you're stationed at Fort Leavenworth? And the answer, more often than not, is not Leavenworth. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the most popular areas veterans actually choose, what makes each one a great fit depending on your situation, and I'll be straight with you about the pros and cons of every option, including Leavenworth itself, because some people absolutely love it. Let's get into it. Let me be honest with you, and I'm going to say this the way a fellow veteran would, not the way a salesperson would. Leavenworth, Kansas is a city with a lot of history, and history is a nice word for some of this housing stock is old. We're talking decades old homes that haven't been updated, inventory that can be limited, and price points that don't always reflect what you're actually getting for the money. But here's the thing that nobody in the military talks about openly. Leavenworth has multiple federal correctional facilities. We're talking United States Penitentiary, United States Disciplinary Barracks, On Post, the Leavenworth Detention Center. It's a lot of prison infrastructure in one city, and for some folks, there's just a psychological element to that. You want some distance. You want to come home to a place that feels like a fresh start, not a reminder of your workplace. Now look, I'm not here to bash Leavenworth. There are veterans who love living there, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but the data on where military families actually end up buying tells a clear story. Most of them look further out, so let's talk about where they go. I'm going to walk you through 7 areas. For each one, I'll tell you who it's best for, what the commute looks like, and what to expect on price. Let's go. Let's start with the most practical option, Lansing. This is the city that sits right between Leavenworth and Kansas City on the Kansas side, and a lot of veterans choose it because it makes total sense logistically. You're close to the base. We're talking maybe 10 to 15 minutes. The housing is more affordable than a lot of other areas that I'm going to talk about, and you still get that separation from Leavenworth itself. Lansing is a straightforward, no-frills community, decent schools, decent inventory, and it's not flashy, but it works. If your priority is short commute and keeping costs down, Lansing's worth a serious look. You can find solid homes in the $250 to $350 range, and you're going to get more for your money than you would in some of the trendier spots on the list. It's best for veterans who want maximum proximity to the base with lower price points and no frills. Next on the list is Basehor, Kansas. Basehor is one I want to spend some time on because it's growing fast and it's a really compelling option for a specific type of veteran. Here's the deal with Basehor. It's about 18 miles from the Fort Leavenworth front gate, and the route is a straight shot up K7. We're talking about a 27-minute drive on a normal day. You get real distance from the base, you get a lot of newer construction options, and the community is growing quickly, which usually means good infrastructure is coming in alongside the growth. Now here's the thing I want you to pay attention to though. Basehor is in Leavenworth County, and Leavenworth County property taxes will sting. It's a common complaint I hear. So when you're running your numbers, your VA loan benefit is incredible, but you probably already knew that. Just make sure that you're factoring in the tax rate. Don't let it be a surprise at closing. Basehor's best for veterans who want newer construction, a growing community, and can handle that 27-minute commute. Watch those Leavenworth County tax rates though. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Weston, Missouri. Weston is one of those places people visit once and immediately start talking about moving there. It's a small, historic town on the Missouri side, genuinely charming, tight-knit community, known for its wineries and its character. If you and your family want to feel like you landed somewhere with a real identity in a movie, Weston has that in a way that newer developments just don't. The trade-off is that inventory can be limited. You're talking about a smaller town, so there aren't hundreds of homes to choose from at any given time. And character homes often mean older homes, which means inspection items and potentially more maintenance. But for the right family, the one that wants a sense of place over a subdivision, Weston is special. Commute-wise, you're crossing into Missouri, which adds a little complexity. Bridge traffic can be a factor depending on the time of day, something to think about if you're doing that drive twice a day. Weston is best for veterans who want character, community, identity, and are okay with a limited inventory and a slightly longer commute. So what about Platte City? Platte City is where you go when you want space, and I mean real space, land, room to breathe, that suburban-rural feel that a lot of veterans coming from structured base living are actually craving. You can get significantly more house and more land in Platte City compared to some of the other areas on this list. If you have a family, animals, or you just want to be able to walk out your back door without looking into your neighbor's living room, Platte City can deliver that. The commute is real though. You're on the Missouri side, so you're bridging across, and depending on where you are in Platte City, you could be looking at 30 to 40 minutes to the gate. For some people, that's a deal breaker. For others, especially if one spouse works remotely or stays home, it's totally manageable, and the trade-off in space and price is really worth it. Platte City's best for veterans who want land, space, and value. Commute-tolerant families though. Okay, number next, Parkville. I have to mention this one because military families fall in love with it, and I mean fall hard. I've had some faithful past clients who moved here and refused to leave after retirement. Parkville sits right on the Missouri River. It's got a gorgeous downtown. Park University is right there, and it has unique energy that combines small town feel with genuine sophistication. And the schools. If you have kids and schools are a priority, Parkville and the Park Hill School District are consistently well regarded. That matters when you're moving to a new state and you need to trust that your kids are going to be taken care of. Now, the price point in Parkville reflects how much people love it. You're generally going to pay more per square foot here than in Platte City or Lansing. And the commute to Fort Leavenworth, you're crossing back into Kansas, so there's bridge traffic to factor in again. But for families that can make it work, Parkville consistently comes up as one of those places people are genuinely happy they chose. There is a bit of a cult following for Parkville. It's best for those who prioritize school district quality, community character, and are willing to pay a premium for it. So what about Kansas City then? Some veterans want access to the full Kansas City experience, more dining options, entertainment, the city itself, and they're willing to trade a longer commute for that. The Northland, which is the Missouri side north of the river, gives you that. If you're going to go this route, stay on the western side of the Northland. The further east you go, the more commute time you're adding. And I'll be direct, Liberty is probably where it gets too far for most Leavenworth commuters. It's a beautiful area, great schools, but the drive starts to stack up when you're doing it every day. The western part of the Northland gives you access to everything Kansas City offers while keeping the commute in a range that won't burn you out over a 2 or 3 year tour. It's best for veterans who want city access and lifestyle options. Stay west, avoid Liberty if commute matters. I'll mention Kansas City, Kansas briefly because some veterans do choose it, and often people who aren't familiar with Kansas City even realize there is a Kansas City, Missouri and a Kansas City, Kansas. It's more affordable than a lot of other options on the list, and it's on the Kansas side, which simplifies the tax picture for some people. That said, KCK is more niche. It's not where I'd send most Fort Leavenworth folks without knowing more about their specific situation. If budget is the absolute top priority and you want to be on the Kansas side, it's definitely worth a conversation. Okay, I've spent a lot of time talking about why veterans look elsewhere, so let me be fair and tell you who actually thrives in Leavenworth. If your commute is the single most important factor in your decision, and for some service members it legitimately is, Leavenworth makes obvious sense. You can be at the gate in minutes, no bridge traffic, no highway, no crossing state lines. That's real. Leavenworth also has a genuinely historic downtown, and it's pretty cool. There's character there. There are people who love the older homes, the established neighborhoods, the sense of history. If that's you, lean into it. Nothing wrong with that. And price point, you can find value in Leavenworth that you won't find in Parkville or some of the other more in-demand areas. If you're buying with a VA loan and stretching your budget to maximize what you can get for your benefit, Leavenworth can work in your favor from a pure numbers standpoint. The families that choose Leavenworth and don't regret it tend to be the ones who went in with eyes open though. They knew what they were getting and they made a deliberate choice. That's all I'm trying to help you do today. Make a deliberate choice. Before I wrap up, let me give you the framework I use when I sit down with a military family facing this exact decision. Question 1, what's your commute tolerance? Be real with yourself. If you've done long commutes before and they've made you miserable, don't convince yourself you'll be fine this time. If you can do 25 to 30 minutes without it draining you, your options open up significantly. Question 2, Kansas or Missouri? This is a tax and lifestyle question. Kansas has no income tax on military pay in some cases. That's worth looking into for your specific situation. Missouri has different tax structures. Talk to a local lender who understands both sides of the state line because it can affect your buying power. Question 3, schools or space? If schools are your top priority, Parkville and the Park Hill School District should probably be on your short list. If you want land and room to breathe, Platte City and Basehor start to look better. These are different trade-offs, and there's no wrong answer. Question 4, how long is your tour? If you're here for 2 years and might PCS again, buy something that's easy to sell or rent. I tell people every week that turning your primary residence into a rental is by far the best way to become a real estate investor, and all of these areas have strong rental markets. If you're retiring here or think you might, buy for the long game. Those are genuinely different strategies, and they affect which neighborhood or area that you land in. Look, I know PCS moves are stressful. You're making a major financial decision, often from thousands of miles away, on a tight timeline in a city you have never been to. That's a lot. That's exactly why I made you this video. I've been in your shoes, not at Leavenworth specifically, but I know what it's like to move your family to a new place and try to make the right call with incomplete information. I became a realtor specifically to help people like you avoid the mistake that comes from not knowing the local market. As a 21-year Air Force veteran and a Kansas City realtor, I genuinely understand both sides of this, the military life and the local market. Myself and my team would love to help you figure out which neighborhood fits your situation specifically. And here's what we want to do right now. First, download my free VA home buying guide for Kansas City. It covers VA loan specifics for this market, neighborhood breakdowns, and what to watch out for. I'll put the link in the description. Second, if you want to talk through your specific situation, reach out. I offer a free consultation and there's zero pressure. Whether you're buying in 6 months or 6 weeks, it costs you nothing to get the right information early. And third, subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this. I make videos specifically for veterans relocating to Kansas City, and I'm just getting started. I'm Joe Nelson with the Nelson Home Group KC, veteran-owned, Kansas City focused, and the highest rated real estate team in Kansas City. We'll see you next time.